Hey everyone. Welcome back to Easy Talk English, the place where learning English is fun, simple, and effective. I'm Josh, and as always, I'm here with my amazing co-host, JC.
Hi, everyone. I'm JC, and today we are going to talk about something super exciting, how to speak English fast. Whether you are just starting out or trying to improve your fluency, we've got some great tips for you.
That's right. Speaking English fast doesn't mean rushing through it. It's about being smart with your learning and practicing consistently. So, let's dive into our first tip. Start speaking right from day one.
Yes, this is so important. A lot of people think, I'll start speaking when I know enough words or when my grammar is perfect. But guess what? That day might never come.
Exactly. You don't need to wait to be perfect. In fact, making mistakes is part of the process. For example, if you are learning how to introduce yourself, just start with something simple like, "Hi, my name is Josh. I am learning English." Even if it's not perfect, it's a great start.
Totally. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are your best teachers. For instance, if you say, I go to the park yesterday, someone might correct you and say, oh, you mean I went to the park yesterday? That's how you learn.
So, don't wait. Start speaking from day one, even if it's just a few words. It'll boost your confidence and help you improve faster.
Our second tip is practice every day. Consistency is key when it comes to learning English.
Absolutely. You don't need to spend hours studying. Just 15 to 30 minutes a day can make a huge difference. For example, you can practice speaking by talking to a friend, recording yourself, or even talking to yourself in the mirror.
Yes, and it's not just about speaking. You can also practice by listening to English podcasts like this one, reading a short article, or writing a few sentences in a journal. Small steps every day add up to big progress over time.
For instance, if you learn just 5 new words a day, in a month, you'll know 150 new words. That's how powerful daily practice can be.
Tip number 3 is listen to English. Listening is one of the best ways to improve your understanding and pronunciation.
Right. You can listen to English songs, watch movies, or even YouTube videos. At first, it might be helpful to use subtitles. For example, if you are watching a movie, turn on English subtitles so you can read along while you listen.
And don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. The more you listen, the better you'll get. For example, if you hear a phrase like, "What's up?" in a movie, you'll start to understand that it's a casual way of saying, "How are you?"
Listening also helps you pick up the rhythm and tone of English. So, make it a habit to listen to something in English every day.
Our fourth tip is learn new words daily. Building your vocabulary is super important for speaking fluently.
Yes. Try to learn 5 to 10 new words every day. Write them down in a notebook and practice using them in sentences. For example, if you learn the word happy, you can say, I am happy today because the weather is nice.
And don't just memorize the words, use them. If you learn the word delicious, try saying, this food is delicious the next time you eat something tasty.
Another great way to remember new words is to group them by topic. For example, if you are learning words related to food, you can learn words like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, and dessert all together.
Our fifth tip is learn common phrases daily. Instead of focusing too much on grammar rules, learn phrases that people use in everyday conversations.
Exactly. Phrases like, how are you, or can you help me, are super useful. For example, if you are at a store and need help, you can say, excuse me, can you help me find this?
And don't forget phrases like, I don't understand, or can you repeat that, please? These are lifesavers when you are having a conversation and need a little extra help.
Learning phrases also helps you sound more natural. For example, instead of saying, I want water, you can say, can I have some water, please? It's more polite and natural.
And remember, the key is to have fun with it. Don't stress too much about being perfect.
We are diving into tip number 6, think in English.
This is such a game changer. A lot of people think in their native language and then translate it into English, but that can slow you down.
Exactly. Instead, try to think directly in English. For example, if you are looking at a car, don't think, that's a car, in your native language and then translate it. Just think, that's a red car, in English.
Right. You can start small. When you wake up, think, I'm going to brush my teeth, or I'm hungry. What should I eat? It might feel strange at first, but it'll become natural with practice.
And the more you think in English, the faster you'll speak because you won't need to translate in your head. It's like training your brain to work in English.
Tip number 7 is talk to yourself in the mirror. If you don't have someone to practice with, don't worry. You can practice with yourself.
Yes. Stand in front of a mirror and describe your day, plan your tasks, or even talk about your favorite movie. For example, you can say, today, I woke up at 7 a.m. I had breakfast, and then I went to work.
Talking to yourself in the mirror also helps you see your facial expressions and body language, which are important for communication. Plus, it's a great way to build confidence.
And if you are feeling shy, remember, no one's watching. It's just you and the mirror. So, go ahead and practice as much as you want.
Tip number 8 is read aloud. This is such a simple but powerful way to improve your English.
Absolutely. You can read anything, newspapers, books, online articles, or even social media posts. The key is to read it out loud. For example, if you are reading a news headline like, the weather will be sunny tomorrow, say it out loud.
Reading aloud helps you practice pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. It also builds your confidence in speaking. Plus, it's a great way to learn new words and phrases in context.
And if you are not sure how to pronounce a word, you can always use online tools like Google Translate to hear the correct pronunciation.
Speaking of pronunciation, tip number 9 is focus on pronunciation. Good pronunciation makes you sound more fluent and helps people understand you better.
Right. For example, the word comfortable might look tricky, but when you hear it pronounced as comfortable, it becomes easier to say.
You can use apps like Google Translate or YouTube videos to hear how native speakers pronounce words. Repeat after them until you get it right.
And don't forget to pay attention to stress and intonation. For example, in the sentence, I didn't say that, the word didn't is stressed to emphasize the meaning.
Practicing pronunciation might feel slow at first, but it's worth it. The clearer you speak, the more confident you'll feel.
Our 10th tip is repeat and practice. Repetition is the secret to mastering anything, including English.
Yes, when you learn a new phrase or sentence, repeat it several times until it feels natural. For example, if you learn the phrase, could you please repeat that? Practice saying it until you can say it quickly and confidently.
Repetition helps your brain remember words and phrases better. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets.
And don't be afraid to revisit old material. Sometimes, repeating what you've already learned can help you remember it better and use it more naturally.
Yes. Just keep practicing, and you'll see progress.
If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Easy Talk English for more fun and easy ways to learn English.
Let's start with tip number 11. Ask for feedback.
This is such an important tip. When you are learning English, it's really helpful to get feedback from others.
Exactly. Ask your friends, teachers, or family members to correct your mistakes. For example, if you say, I go to the park yesterday, someone can tell you, oh, you mean I went to the park yesterday.
And don't feel shy about asking for help. Most people are happy to help you improve. Plus, getting feedback helps you avoid making the same mistakes over and over.
You can even ask for feedback on your pronunciation. For example, if you are not sure how to say vegetable, ask someone to say it for you and then repeat it after them.
Tip number 12 is use simple grammar. When you are just starting out, don't worry about using complicated grammar.
Right. Start with basic sentences like, I go to school, or she is happy. These simple sentences are easier to remember and use in everyday conversations.
As you get more comfortable, you can start adding more details. For example, instead of saying, I go to school, you can say, I go to school by bus, or I go to school every morning.
Over time, you'll naturally learn more complex grammar. But in the beginning, keep it simple and focus on being understood.
Tip number 13 is record yourself. This is a great way to track your progress and find areas where you can improve.
Yes. Use your phone or a recorder to record yourself speaking English. For example, you can read a short paragraph from a book or talk about your day.
Then, listen to the recording and pay attention to your pronunciation, grammar, and fluency. If you hear a mistake, you can work on correcting it.
Recording yourself also helps you get used to hearing your own voice in English, which can boost your confidence.
Tip number 14 is learn English songs. Who doesn't love music, right?
Absolutely. Singing along to English songs is a fun way to improve your pronunciation and fluency. Start with simple songs like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, or Happy Birthday.
As you get better, you can try more challenging songs. For example, if you like pop music, you can sing along to songs by artists like Ed Sheeran or Taylor Swift.
Songs also help you learn new words and phrases in a natural way. Plus, they're easy to remember because of the melody.
So, turn up the volume and start singing.
Our tip number 15 is set small goals. Setting realistic goals keeps you motivated and helps you track your progress.
Yes. For example, you can set a goal to learn 10 new words a week or speak in English for 5 minutes a day.
Small goals are easier to achieve and they give you a sense of accomplishment. For instance, if your goal is to learn 10 new words, you can write them down, use them in sentences, and review them at the end of the week.
And as you reach your goals, you can set bigger ones. For example, after speaking for 5 minutes a day, you can aim for 10 minutes a day.
Remember, progress takes time, so be patient with yourself and celebrate your small wins along the way.
Just remember, the key is to practice consistently and have fun with it.
Let's start. Tip number 16 is shadowing. This is a super effective technique for improving your speaking and pronunciation.
Yes, shadowing means listening to someone speak English and repeating what they say right after them. It's like being their shadow. For example, you can listen to a podcast, a YouTube video, or even a movie scene and repeat the words and sentences as you hear them.
This helps you practice the rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation of English. For instance, if you hear someone say, I'm going to the store, you repeat it exactly the way they say it.
And the best part is, you can do this anywhere. You can shadow while you are cooking, walking, or even commuting. Just pick something you enjoy listening to and start repeating.
It might feel a little strange at first, but the more you do it, the more natural your English will sound. Plus, it's a great way to learn common phrases and expressions.
Tip number 17 is don't be afraid of mistakes. This is so important because a lot of people feel embarrassed when they make mistakes.
But here's the thing, everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. For example, I once said, I'm so boring, instead of, I'm so bored. It was a little embarrassing, but I learn from it.
Exactly. Mistakes are part of the learning process. Instead of worrying about being perfect, focus on improving. For example, if someone corrects you, say, "Thank you," and try to use the correct word or phrase next time.
Remember, every mistake is a step closer to fluency. So, don't be afraid to speak up and make mistakes. It's how you learn.
Tip number 18 is be patient. Learning a new language takes time, and it's important to be kind to yourself.
Yes, you might not see progress right away, but that doesn't mean you're not improving. For example, if you are learning new words, it might take a while before you start using them naturally in conversations.
And that's okay. The key is to keep practicing. Think of it like planting a seed. You water it every day, and even though you don't see a tree right away, it's growing under the soil.
So, don't give up if you feel stuck. Keep practicing, and one day you'll look back and see how far you've come.
Tip number 19 is watch kids' shows. This might sound funny, but kids' shows are actually a great way to learn English.
Yes. Shows like Peppa Pig or Dora the Explorer use simple language that's easy to understand. For example, in Peppa Pig, the characters say things like, "This is my teddy bear," or "Let's go to the park."
And because these shows are made for kids, they often repeat words and phrases, which helps you remember them. Plus, they're fun to watch.
So, grab some popcorn, sit back, and enjoy a kids' show while learning English at the same time.
Our final tip is join an English-speaking group. Practicing with others is one of the best ways to improve your English.
Yes. Look for local English-speaking clubs or online groups where you can chat with other learners. For example, you can join a group on Facebook or meetup.com.
Talking to other learners helps you build confidence because everyone is in the same boat. You can practice speaking, ask questions, and even make new friends.
And if you are feeling shy, start with small groups or one-on-one conversations. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll feel.
These all 20 tips are wonderful and will help you speak English faster and more confidently. Remember, the key is to practice consistently and have fun with it.
That's all for today's episode. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Easy Talk English for more fun and easy ways to learn English.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep practicing and keep smiling.
Bye, everyone.